somebody comes in, once you have determined with them what it is that's causing this recurrent problem, is there supplemental work they do on their own? I mean, I love this part where you're in charge of yourself, because that's where it really is anyway.
Exactly.
You can just be a guide. You're not going to, you're not going to, well, I guess some guys can lay hands on and removing the symptom, but that wouldn't necessarily remove the cause either.
Exactly. They may get a shift, they may feel better for a period of time, but unless that stimulates an interchange, and an interchange causing different choices in life, it's not going to make any difference, because that's the predicament of the human species, that we continue to do the same things and pray for a different outcome.
Oh yeah, it's like bounce your head off the wall a few times to see if it stops hurting.
I don't want it to hurt this time, bang, it hurt again. And then what happens is then you start to blame God. God, I asked you not to let that hurt.
Yeah, right. You failed me. I'm going to become a Catholic. I guess that's not right. But anyway.
So the other part of it.
I take that back. But,
so again, once we learn how to cooperate with the design, then we're going to be happy. But as long as we just focus on, I want to be happy, I want to be happy, I want to be healthy, and not doing anything different, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
Now, how do you subscribe to? We have these books around Louise Hay, and she'll say, if you have something that's wrong with your foot, it relates to this and this or that thing. And I also know in acupuncture, where my wife is doing acupuncture treatments, it's a series of channels that relate to the organs or relate to ailments that you have, and you're kind of looking at the way everything works together. Does that follow true in your system as well?
Yeah, again, we're working a little bit more individually. I know Louise from when I lived in Santa Monica. She's a great lady. She's developed a really good books as far as...
They're interesting. Yeah.
It gives kind of like a starting point.
That's what I was going for.
But it doesn't always get to the individual issues. It's really a good... I love her books. I recommend them all the time. And, of course, the acupuncture meridians can get blocked up, and that can relate to certain organs, and we know the different organs hold different emotions, different frequencies, like the lungs grief and the liver anger and the kidneys fear. And again, opening up the channels can be a very, very good thing for helping with pain and restoring function. Yet again, still many times, it doesn't get to the deepest subconscious core of what's going on.
Sure.
And it tends to come back because, again, you may not change your behaviors. So a good doctor, whether an acupuncturist, what I do, whatever, again, will say, you got to make these changes and start to coach them.
Yeah, I think the point that I was trying to get at was that it's kind of a clue to you. You already said it. It's kind of a clue to you if somebody's got an ailment that involves their feet, where you can look at these other indicators as well, or make that kind of a guess. Well, all right, suppose somebody comes in and gets a treatment. Do they go off on you? Do they just suddenly start talking in tongues or remembering stuff from 3 years old or anything?
Well, they can start to have emotional releases on the table. I've had people just cry and sob. They might laugh, they might shake, because they're releasing it from the cellular memory. So there might be a variety of ways that is expressed, or it might just be as simple as a and a sigh and just relax, because they're finally free of this burden that's been on them all their lives. And
they know what it is then, so they can always say, oh, wait a minute, if there's a recurrence of some sort.
Well, I give them, say, okay, you're aware of your anger. When your anger comes up, it's a reflection of this. Because what we're really talking about is all of our issues are stored in our tissues.
It's poetry, folks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it makes total sense to me. And I have experience during meditation where I'm focusing on a specific physical thing. I watch my thoughts and stuff. So I've been meditating for a long time, but I still have thoughts come up that won't go away or something, and I'll consciously be releasing those and start getting into twitches. Is that kind of it?
Yeah, and you can do that. And what we hope to do, what I actually find that is the biggest clearing, are those ones that we've opened up the channel all the way through, and they just get that. And it's like a ton of bricks being lifted off.
Do they have to be careful after that? Could you re-injure yourself or something because you're in a sort of blissed out state or whatever?
I usually try to help people get really grounded before they leave, and if not, I ask them to sit and be a while before they get up and start engaging. And again, it's just so important to honor the person's process that they're feeling and going through, and to really support them in whatever it is that comes up.
Can there be, like in the case of an anger issue or something, that maybe there are more than one thing? Could there be, there are multiple things? Can you find those out as well?
Fortunately, the subconscious mind stores memory very different than the conscious mind. We're talking left-right brain type of thing.
Yeah.
The left brain is very linear and analytical and judgmental. The right brain is feeling-oriented and pictures. So the subconscious mind stores memories as pictures and feelings. What you picture with feeling, it will create. So we're starting to shift that and create a new response by shifting the feeling and a new image.
Well, can people utilize this? So say you don't actually have a traumatic thing to deal with, but like you said, you're a coach for people to achieve their highest potential. How would you work with somebody on that? If they come in and they're going, hey, no, I'm jogging now, I'm in great shape, I'm feeling great, but I don't seem to be able to land that great job or be more effective in my chosen career.
I think that's why this is going to be really fun to demonstrate what we do at another time. Yet again, if I'll check to see how they're actually running, see are they as healthy as they think they are by using some objective findings. Because subjectively, a lot of times we don't know. What do most people do? Lou, if I see you on the street and I ask you, how you doing, Lou? What do we usually say?
Just fine.
Fine.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Fine. How are you really? Do you really know? So it's really important to have some objective findings to evaluate that. And if they are really healthy, basically what I do is use some muscle response testing. There's a lot of this as far as watching the body, how the body responds to certain input. And then, so I'd have them think about their goal. And is it either congruent with their belief systems or not by checking a muscle response?
Muscle response like this stuff where I hold my arm out and I go, yes, I'm a girl, and you push it down and it supposedly doesn't go down.
That type of thing. And it's because it's an accurate indicator because it's the direct input into the subconscious because your subconscious runs your body. Muscle response testing is a highly valuable tool for understanding what is really going on because your body can't lie.
But you have to know the right questions to ask the guy.
That's my job.
Yeah.
Is knowing the right questions, knowing the procedure, so that I can guide them in the right way back to that. So it is a very specific procedure to guide someone to that original cause.
And do you think that? Well, so say somebody did have like a career blockage or something. That's still cellular? I guess it's all within the person.
Well, yeah. Let's say that I have you think about something that's blocking you. This would be the same thing as I was having you think about a physical ailment. And you reacted. I'd say, how does that make you feel? You might say, angry. I'm really angry. I'm really sad. Okay? I'd say, well, gee, is that a familiar feeling to you? And they go, oh, yeah. Well, think of the first time you remember feeling that way. And I would trace it back. Either they can or they can't. If not, I have plan B, C, and D. You would probably know that I would. But if they can, I'll go back to that original experience, have them repattern it. Okay, what's a different way you can feel about that? What would help you learn the lesson? Because ultimately that's what we're here for, is to learn lessons, how to positively live life, how to use our conscious mind congruently with the way God designed this thing, rather than using our free will against that.
We could have a planet full of super people if everybody would just be aware of.
Well, wasn't that the design? Wasn't that the original reason we were supposed to be in form, is to express our divinity, our love? But we're also afraid, we're also locked up that, we're just playing out our patterns.
Do you feel that I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm noticing all the incredible head in the ground stuff about, let's just say, global warming, the environment, the American people buying the lies about the war and just working hard all day, coming home, getting their news from the media, which tells you all this nasty stuff. That could easily be a contributory factor. What about all this fatness in America? There's just all these things that you look around, and I look around and I go, my God, the world could be such a great place.
Yeah. But people are making choices based on fear rather than love. We are conscious co-creators here. Our choice is, are we going to create out of fear or love? Those are the only choices. And, we can see what all around us, what happens when you create out of fear. You protect. You can't be in protection and love at the same time. So you're protecting what you got. There's this whole sense that's been programmed into humanity about a sense of lack. And I've got to get yours to have mine.
Yeah, that there's not an infinite abundance in the universe, that there's only a finite
Exactly.
thing, and you got to get your share.
Yeah, and that's never going to happen because we all want something a little different, and we all here to support each other. That's the new paradigm that's trying to happen here is in human consciousness, is learning that we are all here to do this together. We are stewards of this planet, not here to take and take and take and rape and take and rape. How much war does it take to make peace? It's incongruent. It's contradiction.
It doesn't cut it.
You know, we had a wonderful, you and I will talk about all kinds of stuff here. Yeah. We had a wonderful opportunity when 9/11 happened to really bring the world together. I felt that opening. And then it was just, everything was fear and protection and creating war and all these other things. So, you know, certainly there's a need to, there are people that, you know, don't have all altruistic
there's selfish greed, power,
so
any of that stuff.
Of course, there's a need for some protection. Yet, you know, again, you can't say you're going to create peace by waging war.
You know, yeah, I know. So totally true. One of the reasons I mentioned some of these things is like, you know, the evidence. If you start looking at America, you know, through the macro scope, and you see, I'm especially concerned about the overweightness. You know, my son's gained weight a little bit. He's not too overweight, but I'm looking at him now and I'm going, you know, this kid eats organic food. He's pretty much a vegetarian. How the heck is this happening? And I see so much incredible obesity. Is that something that you could work with?
Absolutely. I work with that all the time because it's looking at how their body's functioning. And are they very simply, what we talked about last time I was in here was about the acid-alkaline balance. A person can be way over acid, and then what happens is that lowers your metabolism because your metabolism is designed to have plenty of oxygen. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah. So when, for instance, just in a real quick biochemical explanation, when you have plenty of oxygen, the cellular metabolism will produce 30 units of energy for every cycle. In the absence of sufficient oxygen to run that, we have a backup system called anaerobic metabolism, but it only produces 3 units of energy per cycle. That's 10 times less efficient. So now you've got a metabolism that's on idle.
I see.
And again, look at most of the kids aren't as active. You know, most of the time they're in front of the computers. They're sitting in the schools.
Yeah, that's his routine.
You know, yeah. And so, you know, when we were kids, what did we do all the time?
We're out running
We're out
around.
playing all the time.
Riding bikes, doing this stuff.
We didn't sit in front of the TV for, you know, very long. I mean, we'd watch in the evening. We watched Bonanza in the evening.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
What is it? The Wonderful World of Disney or whatever it was. These were the things when we were kids.
But that was it. Yeah, for the most part, you're out running around doing so. And I didn't even have to start paying attention to my weight till I was in my 40s. I was just so active, it just didn't make any difference.
Another factor is because of all the stresses in life, again, the adrenal glands are producing chemicals that one of them called cortisol. And cortisol causes you to put weight on around the midline. It causes you to
I'm going to stop eating that stuff right now.
Yeah, it's
no more
important.
Cortisol in my diet.
And, well, it's the biggest problem with cortisol, the one you're producing from the inside.
I'm not going to do that anymore either.
So all these factors we talked about with the chemical glands come back into these chemicals are not healing chemicals. They're not the endorphins and all these other wonderful DHEA. If the adrenal glands aren't producing adrenaline and cortisol and all these other things, they'll produce DHEA, which is a precursor to our natural hormones. So we're creating hormone problems, all kinds of problems that are limiting our ability to heal.
You got to come back on and do the live demonstration.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun because, you know, we can talk about it, but when you see it happen, it is really profound.